Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Farookh Jishi. I'm a representative from the Wrexham Muslim Association and the Wrexham Mosque. I'm proud to say that we are one of the founding members, along with Reverend Chris Potter, going back 30 years. I thought I'll give you a little talk about how we all started and sort of my story through these 30 years. Just as was mentioned earlier by Reverend Chris Potter, I had a phone call from Nia Higginbottom, and she said, "Oh, okay, can I come and see you to talk about community organizing?" And I didn't know what she was talking about. So she came along one evening, and I thought, well, 10, 15-minute talk, and, give her a cup of tea, and that'll be it. And it was 2 hours, 2.5 hours, we were chatting about all kinds of things, the issues in the community, the things that needs to be done, the organization that needs to be done, how to go about it, and all those sort of things. And that's how sort of I initially got interested and got involved. And one of our first preliminary sort of planning meetings took place in Kepligros, and one of the inspiring persons who were there that hasn't been mentioned was Sister Sheila. She was in charge of the nuns' Justice and Peace Center, and they were so kind to give us the accommodation for free over all these years. And she was an inspiration at the time. And then obviously we went about and we were asked to, as Muslim Association, to join TCC, and we were not really very sure, what are we going to do about it? What is this all about? So we took advice. We took advice from one of the biggest mosques in Northwest, which is in Liverpool, and we talked to them, and they said, of course you should join, and you'll be making a difference in the community, you'll be solving issues, and not only that, it will be advantage to you as well by meeting other community leaders and politicians and everything else. And they very much encouraged us to join, and that's what we did. And Barack Obama has been mentioned. I think we often used his name when we went around recruiting. They said Barack Obama started his political career as a community organizer. I said, oh yeah. And that was one of our sort of selling points in getting people to join TCC, either as trustees or just as members. And we have had all kinds of members. I mean, predominantly we said that there are religious-based organizations, but we had others as well. There was the Parkinsonian Society, there was the cardiac rehabilitation people, and there were other sort of smaller groups. Some of them joined for a while their issues were being raised, and when they got their objectives, they left, but others have obviously stayed with us. And it was some years later as we went along, when we actually joined, we didn't have a mosque, we didn't have a place of worship of our own. The university, which was then NIWI at the time, Polytechnic, had kindly given us a small porta cabin where we used to meet on Fridays and for our Friday prayers. But we were a registered organization, and we had been struggling to get a place of our own, but it was very difficult. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the organization, we didn't know how to go about getting organized enough. And so we approached TCC, and they were very kindly said, yes, we'll take up your project. And at that time, there were a lot of community centers being closed, some schools were being closed. So we said, well, perhaps the council can give us an accommodation that we will, on a lease, on a rent. And so a team of us went to see the chief exec. And in that team, there were 4 clergymen, and I think you were there, Reverend Potter. There were 4 clergymen, and myself and Dr. Shah, and they were all wearing their collars. And the chief exec just looked around and said, "I'm confused," he said. Have you come for a mosque? But all I can see, the majority of the people here are clergymen, Christians. What's going on? They said, "We are from TCC and we are all together here and we are supporting for the establishment of a mosque." And it went on from there. The long negotiations went on. They offered us a place for a lease of about 2-3 years or things like that. And we were on the verge of signing the lease agreement when different things happened. There was a financial crash, and the prices of things went down, of properties went down, and other properties came on the market, so that project was dropped. But as an organization, we'll be ever grateful to TCC for helping us at the time of our need, not only in sort of coming with us to the council and raising issues, but in helping us to sort of organize ourselves in the first place, and how to be leaders and how to go about doing things. Some of the projects that we have achieved have been mentioned, like living wage and free school meals and some of the other things. But one of the biggest achievements, not by ourselves but along with others, was the incinerator project in Wrexham. If it was not for TCC and some of the other groups that helped us, you would have had one of the biggest incinerators in the country or in Europe sitting in Wrexham and spurting out all kinds of toxins in the air. And it was our campaign that stopped the council from going in for incineration and completely changing their policy towards recycling. And then obviously we had the free school meals project, which actually started here and then became a national project. And the same thing with living wage. We were very much involved in that, and gradually the council became a signatory to it, and obviously later on the whole of Wales became a signatory to living wage. So we have achieved a lot over the last 30 years, and we look forward to the next 30 years. Thank you very much.